Hello, friends. Welcome back to Phil Plays Bass, the one and only stream where we talk about bass and music with me. It's not the only one where people talk about bass and music, but it's the only one with me. Woo! Welcome back, guys. This is a bit of a special edition in the sense that it just happens to be a little bit later than usual. I was going to church and I thought it would be an interesting thing to still produce some content about my progress with regards to these exercises that I've been trying to do for the last week pretty assiduously. It's not the only exercise that I'm doing, but it is definitely the one that has given me the hardest time, really. It's a bit of, I don't want to say torture, but it's definitely definitely challenging, 100% challenging. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Before that, guys, Sunday, this is the 7th day of the week, and it also happens to be aligned with our 7 days, 1 mode per day new idea agenda thing that I'm working on. Today is a day for the Locrian mode, which is the 7th and last mode of the major scale. It's also the one that is the weirdest to hear for people because it doesn't really fit in any kind of out of context. It doesn't really sound like anything that you would normally play with all of these strange altered notes, and it is rightly so the most altered mode of the scale. It's just the consequences of how these notes are sort of laid out. That's just it. The 7th one is very angular, very foreign sounding, very unstable, because if we start our regular major scale, well, if we're in C and we're playing in B, this would be the Locrian mode. Oh, my bad. Just a bunch of weird intervals. Flat 9, followed by a minor third, 4th, a diminished 5th, a flat 6, and a flat 7. So we've got flat 9, flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, and flat 7. We've got 5 notes that are altered out of 7. That's a lot of alterations. And if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, sorry, 8. Definitely not a flat 1 that does exist, at least nominally. If we try to make a chord out of this succession of notes, and we take 1, 3, 5, 7, we get not just a minor chord, because we have a minor third, we also get a minor or diminished 5th and a flat 7. So together it gives us a minor 7 chord with a flat 5th. Very, very weird sounding kind of thing for the, unless you're a long-time jazz listener, many songs start off with a minor 2-5-1. If that speaks to you, awesome. You're already in the club. Well done. But for most people, this is not something that you'd see very often, and you see that on the chart, this weird, you've got the name of the note next to it, let's say B, and then you've got 7, B, 5. It's just a very weird looking thing that scares a lot of people. But you forget that it's essentially just one semitone away. Except I'm starting on the penultimate note. And that gives it this sort of really strange color, this strange mood on its own, which is particularly appropriate for jazz, which is why it's ever present. It's everywhere in jazz, everywhere. And it's called also a half diminished chord. The only difference between a diminished chord and a half diminished chord is that the 7th, so 1, 3, 5, 7, sorry, I should say 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. The only difference is that in a completely diminished chord, also represented by a little circle, not a circle with a slash, with a line across it, is that the 7th is doubly diminished. It's 7 bb, next to it. That means the seventh is doubly diminished, which gives it this extra unstable color, which is perfect, a perfect setup for the most satisfying resolution ever in jazz. But we'll get to that eventually. That's my little introduction to the Locrian mode, guys. Monday, major scale, Ionian. Tuesday, Dorian. Flat 7, flat 3. Wednesday, Phrygian. Flat 9, flat 3. Flat 6, flat 7. Fourth day, Thursday, I should say, Lydian. 1, 2, 3. Fourth augmented. And the rest is pretty much your regular major scale. Friday is the Mixolydian. It gives us that dominant chord. That's major. That's seventh. It's a major chord with a flat 7. Saturday, Aeolian, which is what we know also as the natural minor. So we've got a flat 3, flat 6, flat 7, and Locrian, which is flat 9, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. Just an odd sounding mode altogether. In terms of function, that's a little bit more advanced than I'm qualified to sort of talk about. I can play it, but in terms of theory, some people do a much better job at talking about the function of this chord. Since I'm not really a jazz guy, I know the function of all these chords, but there's just so much content out there for you guys to ingest eagerly that I won't spend too much time on it. For the time being, I'm mostly focused on technique rather than theory, because theory tends to scare people away. It's obviously a really important thing to get into, but that's not quite the topic of my stream. Regardless, what I'm trying to do is sort of demystify the idea that practice actually accomplishes everything. That's exactly what my focus is on. Just by a little discipline and stick-to-itiveness, anyone can become a much better bass player, musician altogether. Hence, my focus this week on this exercise by a German bass player who's affiliated with Sadowski, I believe. I think he is. I think he's got a relationship with Sadowski. I haven't done too much research into Lars Lehmann, but he's a fantastic player. Go check him out. Lars Lehmann with an H, Lehmann. And he has this really cool exercise that he calls the spider. There's many variants, many variations that people do play when it comes to the spider. One that he apparently particularly enjoys, and I don't blame him because it's really rich in challenge. It's very challenging. Is to play basically two shapes that you move up a fret every time. So we're alternating between two tritones and two major thirds. So the whole, I'm going through this relatively quickly, guys, because I've done it this whole week. So if you're looking to pause the video, slow it down, but that's essentially what the exercise is. Phase 2, which is where it starts to get a little more challenging, is alternating between the A string and the G string. You guessed it. What comes next? We're alternating between the E string and the G string. Went all the way up there. Jeez. Still quite challenging. Like I said, I'm only practicing this exercise on stream. I promise you guys, you'll have to take my word for it. I promise you that I'm not practicing this exercise off screen. And tomorrow I will be doing essentially my review of this exercise, which I think is really, really beneficial. And tomorrow will be the crowning, a bit of a, not crowning, the crowning achievement. I mean, in all fairness, it's quite an achievement to do that second part of the exercise, which I will demonstrate now, which is particularly challenging. Just a bit of a disclaimer, guys. If you're a beginner bass player or sort of intermediate, and you haven't really delved into really technical exercises yet, this is definitely the most advanced version of this particular thing, this left-hand exercise that I've ever seen. It's really, really challenging, very, very challenging for even for advanced players, or at least people who have played for a while. I do put myself in that category. I have played for a long time. I consider myself to be not virtuoso, but at least an advanced bass player. And this exercise, this part I'm just showing you, I will show you in a second, is particularly challenging, and you'll see why. Basically, we're going to hold our pinky finger and our middle finger in one position the whole time, and then we're going to play the other two notes like so, and just alternate between the E string and the G string with our two fingers that are available, and the other two will remain firmly planted on the fretboard. And I will demonstrate. If you absolutely cannot move your fingers at all, which actually was the case for me when I first started to do this exercise, to practice it on stream. You guys can go back to Monday and see me struggle and literally sweat my way through this exercise. This is really, really challenging. There is a way to prime yourself in order to perform it. If your ring finger, which is the most sort of rebellious finger, I find, at least in my case, you can actually help yourself a little bit with the other hand at first. Like actually move back and forth between the E string and the G string in order to prime your muscles, establish that mind-muscle connection, get the movement, get a little bit of blood flow, sort of mental blood flow to this exercise. And then eventually, without even playing any notes on the right hand, you'll alternate these fingers, or just one at a time. So there's multiple ways to get to this exercise. It does take a while to get used to it, guys, and it's very, very painful. This isn't even the most challenging position, so bear with me as I put myself through a lot of pain for hopefully some views. Guys, do say hi in the chat. It'd be nice to know where you guys are coming from. Which country are you guys from? What time of the day is it? What instrument do you play? Do you play bass? Are you a guitar player? Are you a keyboard player? What do you guys do? Why are you here? What happened? Was it suggested to you? Are you a musician at all? Are you a bricklayer? Or are you a race car driver? Are you a Formula One driver? Could be. Or are you also a bass player? In which case, it is a crime for you not to comment. Please make yourselves become a part of the community, really. I'm surprised, actually. Mike is usually here at this time. No, actually, we're a bit later than usual. That is true. Michael is here. All I had to do was mention his name. Michael, lovely to see you here again. So here we go, guys. This exercise. Michael, I hope you have your bass on your lap, because it's time. It's that time of the day. It's time for a little bit of left hand pain. Ah. If you've been following this stream for just over 7 days, you'll realize how much of a difference there is between my ability to play this exercise now and what it looked like at the beginning. I'll try and put a little video, a little montage of the progress for tomorrow's stream, and we'll just compare day 1 and day 7, and I think it'd be really, really cool to, yeah, to just actually witness the difference. And like I said, I'm only practicing this exercise on stream. I do other things during the daytime. I do a bit of jamming. Obviously, I try to interrupt my day with a fair amount of playing. I like distractions, and the fact that I've got a keyboard and my bass is right behind me certainly helps with distractions. Doesn't help with productivity though, but hey, it's always good. So, this first version of the exercise is not actually going bad at all. I might even be able to play to a click tomorrow without being too embarrassed. Now, the idea of this exercise is that any combination is possible. You can choose which strings you're highlighting by changing the position of the two static fingers and alternate between, shall we say here for instance, the A and D string, which also has inherently its own challenges, because now your pinky finger has to cover the entirety of the neck across and not touch any of the strings, or at least the two that will be playing, which is another kind of challenge in itself. So I'm yet to become comfortable with a couple of the variants of this exercise before I would consider having like an entire what would you call it, like an entire routine, an entire section after section. Let's say I'll start here, and then this finger will move here, then this finger will move here, then this finger will move here, then this finger. I will have some kind of a more built-up routine to put our left hand through the entirety of this torturous process. But for now, I'm only going to switch between a couple for the sake of brevity in the stream, and just to show that even doing a fraction of this huge amount of variance that we can do on stream, at least in terms of practicing, even just doing these two can be super, super beneficial. And if you don't have a lot of time, doing 10 minutes is still better than not doing anything at all. How are you, Michael? Is your wife recovering okay? I hope she's not in too much pain. Michael's wife had a fall and broke her out, had a fractured bone in her arm, and I certainly hope that she's doing better. Yeah, I do hope so. Right. No more talking. Now 5 minutes of silence, and well, let's pray together, guys, because it's rather painful. All right, so I'm going to start with the initial variant, which is pinky finger on the F on the A string, so fret number 8 on your A string, and the middle finger on the A flat on the D string. Right, so these two won't move at all, so you better make sure they're comfortable, because they'll be here for a while. Right, and we're going to alternate between the E string and the G string. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Ooh, every now and then my ring finger just gets stuck, absolutely stuck to the fretboard. Gee, very, very painful. Okay, time to alternate. Now my index finger and my ring finger, who were playing before, will be the ones who are being held, um, who will press down on the fretboard, and my pinky finger and middle finger will be the ones alternating between these strings. This one, guys, I find particularly challenging, knowing that this exercise is already super challenging. This one with the pinky finger, you'll probably see it. My pinky has a tendency to sort of snap in and out of two positions. I don't know if you can clearly see it on stream, but it's like I can't get it to sort of smoothly curl up and unravel, curl up and curl out. Say curl out, straighten. I'm also using this stream to work on my English, so hopefully you guys can still understand me. Right, let's go. No more talking. Don't play through pain too much, guys. I keep mentioning that. Once you start feeling a bit of a burning feeling in your forearm, push through it for a couple of seconds and then shake it off, and then go straight back to it again. And the moment that burn reappears, again, shake it off. Just push through the pain just for a couple of seconds, and then go back to it. Do that 3-4 times, and I can testify it really. I was nearly incapable of playing this exercise at the beginning of the week. And although my pinky finger is still misbehaving, i.e. still sort of snapping in and out of these two positions, I think you can see it on stream. You can't hear it crack, but I can feel it. It's like a little snap in my finger. I'm actively trying to sort of mitigate that on this exercise. I'm trying to put myself through the transition relatively slowly and making sure that it doesn't snap in and out. So it takes me extra time, but that's the kind of groundwork that we have to do in order to see some results. Bit of pain, shake it off, back to it. Okay, that was about what, like a couple of minutes each on these two exercises. I'm not going to say it's sufficient, but for our intents and purposes, I don't want to make it sort of drag on a little bit too long, because it's not really realistic for people with day jobs and people with children and lots of other everyday concerns. What I'm trying to convey here is that a 10-minute practice routine where you don't talk as much as I am, you can go like straight to business. I will make a montage of that tomorrow and show it to you guys, and I think the difference will be pretty obvious. I'm very, very happy with how this exercise is turning out, bearing in mind that what I thought to be the sort of ultimate level of finger mobility and agility was this kind of exercise. Now perhaps my right hand that's not that's not doing too well. I thought this was the most advanced version of this exercise. I was wrong. No, only is this one extra challenging because it really is a thumb mobility practice routine more than just fingers on the fretboard. Your thumb being your biggest means of supporting this spread of your fingers, and the sort of constantly shifting pressure points means that your thumb has to do twice the amount of work that it does. Because it has to move, it has to readjust every single time. I'll go through this exercise here and show you at the back what's going on. And you can see how often my thumb has to switch position. This is absolute peak level of exercise. It really challenges your left hand in practically every respect, except speed, really, but then I suppose that's up to you. And then once you become comfortable with these exercises, you can start implementing all sorts of string skipping exercises on the left hand as well. So that kind of stuff. And then when you start alternating between strings, gee, this gets obviously I'm doing it off the cuff. I haven't really practiced it that much, so it sounds a little bit not super clean, but that's the idea. I'm just demonstrating that there's many other ways, many other avenues to explore on top of just the left hand aspect of things. Once you start opening those doors or discovering that behind every curtain there's a new door, it just becomes this, it's rabbit hole after rabbit hole. It's like a fractal of exercises. The deeper you look, the deeper you can go. Woo. So that's the idea. You're right, I didn't do the last one. Okay, let's do it. And remember, guys, the idea is not that this exercise is per se exactly needed in the wild, in the real world, but if you can do that extra thing, then everything underneath, everything below it in terms of skill requirements becomes that much easier. That means your command of the instrument is much improved, much improved, and hopefully I can demonstrate that, if not just this week, then after another week of practicing this exercise, which I will do, this time maybe off camera, so that I don't burden you with with half an hour of talking and practice at the same time. Still, apologies for the quality of the stream, guys. If it's still terrible, I'm genuinely working on this, but I don't really know how to improve it. It seems that the internet connection in Belgium is absolutely poor, and I nearly said something else there, but it's very poor, very poor. So it's constantly sort of up and down. Sadly, it's not on my end. It's the internet provider that doesn't really see a need to give people massive upload speeds, which I can kind of understand. But you know, streaming has yet to reach Belgium. Apparently, they're not too familiar with the concept, and I don't know how many people do it. There we go. As I said, guys, I'm going to leave it at that today. Sunday, Locrian. The 7th day of the week is for the Locrian mode. As a reminder, Locrian is our half diminished mode gives us a half diminished chord. Apologies. It's the Locrian mode contains the notes of the half diminished chord. It was going to be a shorter stream today. Apologies, guys. More content will be coming next week. It's just I'm still trying to finish that website, and I'm so close. I'm so close. I just need to be able to update Spotify playlists on the fly, and then it's basically wrapped up. If you have a Spotify premium account, I will send you the link to the app, and I might add you guys as a test. Whoever's keen on trying this out, I'll add you as a test user, and I might even just demonstrate how I'm planning to use it myself for ear training, and like if I'm learning a new lick or a new line, how I would use this particular tool to sort of to help me with assimilating this line quicker and in different sort of contexts, and just expanding the doors of creativity. In any case, lots of things to explore, and once that website is done and I can just leave it to rest for a while, I can go back to actually thinking about practicing content and practicing and transcribing, which I'm super keen to do a lot more of, because I asked ChatGPT what are the sort of 10 most famous jazz solos or most transcribed jazz solo. Obviously, it just spurted out a list of super famous jazz solos, and I realized that I hadn't actually transcribed any of them. So that might be a new series, one solo a week, depending on how long it takes us to get through one. Could be something to explore. In any case, guys, I will leave it at that for the day. And I'm really super happy with this left hand practice. And as I said, you may or may not take my word for it, but I literally only ever did it on the stream. I did not practice it off camera at all. And hopefully there is some progression that is visible once I line up all the videos that I did this week. And I hope that gives you guys hope and motivation, and sort of gives you that extra boost to be that extra discipline boost that we all need every now and then. So that's essentially my only mission, is to demystify the whole being a musician is difficult. Nah, it's just practice. It's just practice. People say talent is overrated. I think practice is practically everything. I'll leave you with this short story. If you guys are not familiar with Charlie Parker, he is the legend of bebop. Him, Bud Powell, and Dizzy Gillespie are essentially the guys who were at the forefront of bebop in the 30s and made this genre of jazz essentially the cornerstone of all improvisation as we know it to be today. And apparently in one of the first bands that he was involved with, Charlie Parker was so bad, or he was just, a young guy who didn't really know what he was doing. He was so out of place that he had a cymbal thrown at him by the drummer. He was essentially just like, "Oh, get off stage. Who are you? You're ruining our performance, blah, blah, blah." And then some years later, or a few years later, after having allegedly practiced non-stop for like a year or 2 years, for somewhere between 10 and 13 hours every day, he came back and changed the world of jazz forever. So, humble beginnings, to say the least, but through practice, anything can be achieved. On this positive note, guys, I wish you all a very lovely Sunday, and I also wish you a very good start of the week tomorrow. Take care, friends, and hopefully see you tomorrow at the usual time, which will be Brussels time, 5:30. I believe 10:30. Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. 10:30 in your part of your neck of the woods. But that's it. Thank you for joining me today, guys. I will be here again tomorrow. Hopefully, I've earned a like on this channel. Big boost, big help, and hopefully you have faith in me and you decide to subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate that as well. So thank you all. Take good care of yourselves, and don't forget to practice. Even just a little bit every day will make a massive difference in a year's time. Take care, guys. Toodles. And don't forget to practice. Even just a little bit every day will make a massive difference in a year's time. Take care, guys.